Hey, it's Juan Gotti here. Have you ever wanted to ask me a question? Share your opinion on a specific topic, but you never had the place to? Well, now you do, as I will be starting up a new series that will be airing weekly where you can ask me all of the type of questions that you want in regards to the Commanders, the NFL, or just the whole entire sports world. You can email me now at askjuangotti@gmail.com all of your questions. And once we get enough feedback, the first episode will be airing. Again, you'll have the opportunity to ask me any kind of questions that you want. Hey Juan, what do you think about this player? Hey Juan, what do you think about this coach? Or my Commanders fans out there, hey Juan, what do you think about the sale? This is my opinion on it. What do you think? You now have the opportunity to do that. I would take full advantage of that if I was you out there. Hit my email up now at askjuangotti@gmail.com with your questions. Again, that's askjuangotti@gmail.com with your questions. Wait a minute, girl, can you slow down? Wait a minute, girl, what's the rush now? I wanna introduce myself to you. My name is one-on-one guy to prefer now. I like the way you put your fists together. I like the way you do your hair in the morning. I see why all the boys want you, girl. YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here with another Washington Commanders video, and in today's video I'm coming on here with a video where we're going to be talking about the Washington Commanders potentially trading up to the number 2 overall pick in this year's draft. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload a video about the NFL, or in this case our Washington Commanders. We're on the road to 6,000 subscribers, so please hit that subscribe button again if you haven't already. Thank you so much. Let's get straight into today's video. So this is going to be something where we're going to be doing a hypothetical, because 9 times out of 10 sometimes something hypothetical is not true. However, it is not set in stone that this can't happen. So I wanted to come on here and present you guys with a potential trade offer. Now, the reason why I'm doing this video is because there has been talks about the Houston Texans potentially trading back and observing all of their trading scenarios, and there have been NFL Network reporters and analysts doing trade backs that involves the Houston Texans. So I don't know, somewhere out there it gives me the feeling that the Texans are potentially looking to trade back. I don't know how true that is. I don't think they are going to, because they need a quarterback, but there have been drafts, as mock drafts, where a lot of people have the Texans actually trading out at number 2. And if the Panthers did not trade, for the number 1 overall pick, I would have probably said that in the title. But obviously, they're not going to trade again, so they have the number 1 pick on lock. But let's just say Washington was interested in a number 2 overall pick. Okay, we need a franchise quarterback, because yes, Sam Howell is on the roster, but still to this day he's not a guaranteed boom. Yes, we want to believe in Sam Howell. I believe that Sam Howell has the talent to be our franchise quarterback, but right now we don't know that for sure. So Washington still very well could be looking to address the quarterback position, and what better way to do that than getting the number 2 overall pick this year? What would you give up? Leave your comments down below. This is what I would do. I would give up this year's first, next year's first, second round pick, and Chase Young for the number 2 overall pick. Now, y'all may say, Juan, that's too much, but hear me out. This is why I would do that. Because you're getting your franchise quarterback. You're getting either Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. And given the simple fact that Washington has all of this talent on the roster, on the offensive side of the ball, and you're really just missing a quarterback, you will do whatever, because you need a guy. And then on top of that, you have this guy on a rookie contract for basically half a decade, because you can use the 5th-year option if you're not sold on him yet. So for the next 4 to 5 years, you're gonna have a guy that you can that is gonna be cheap, so you can address other needs. All right, yeah, it's gonna suck giving up Chase Young, but the reason why I'm trading Chase Young instead of Montez Sweat is because obviously Chase Young being a former #2 overall pick, defensive rookie of the year winner, he has more potential on the field and more trade, ground. He'll give us the most trade get back. Or or he gives us a better chance to trade for them to our pick. Let me put it that way, instead of Montez Sweat. And then the jury's still out on both Montez Sweat and Chase Young, but even more so Chase Young, because Ron Rivera doesn't even know if he wants to pick up his 5th-year option or not. So with that being said, you can trade him. You can send him to Houston, where he probably is going to ball out. And you can have your franchise quarterback. Now, Houston's going to be set for the future, because then they're going to have multiple draft picks for the next 2 years. Because, again, who's to say they don't trade again once they get at 16? Or who's to say them getting to 16, and a guy like Anthony Richardson, Hendon Hooker, or Will Levis doesn't fall to them? Because it seems like Las Vegas, okay, is going with the veteran route. Now, that's not to say that they don't draft a guy like Anthony Richardson or Hendon Hooker that's going to have to sit. But they look to be seeing. They seem like they're going the veteran route. So that could be another spot where, as opposed to a quarterback going, he's going to continue to fall. So even with Houston trading back, they still have a chance to get one of their guys. Now, it may not be C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young, but it's still a guy that you could potentially build your future with. So if I'm Houston, I would probably entertain Washington's trade. I would probably ask for a little bit more, but given the fact that I want to say Carolina only gave up their 1st-round pick this year, 1st-round pick next year, and I believe a couple of late-round picks in 2025, and DJ Moore, that would be enough. To be honest with you, because again, you're getting a guy that could potentially be your next J.J. Watt of your franchise. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, you already have a couple of good pieces on that team. And you're looking to make this rebuild as quickly as possible. So opposed to, you can pick them overall pick and you can get, C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young, but you can then, instead of doing that, you can trade back and give it to a team that's pretty much not really. I wouldn't say we're one piece away, but I would say we're a quarterback away from competing. So you give that pick to a team that's actually going to be competing in the now, and you can speed up your rebuild. I think Houston should actually entertain. And then again, with these reporters doing these mock drafts on, because I don't see nobody doing mock drafts on trade back scenarios with the Panthers for obvious reasons, but I don't see them doing trade up or trade back scenarios with the Cardinals or anybody. It's only Houston. So there has to be some validity and some truth to them potentially wanting to trade back. Okay, so I'm just saying, if I'm Houston and I want to speed up my rebuild and I want to try to get all of the capital that I can, I would do this. Because right now, I don't know if there's any cap on the amount of draft picks you can have for 1 year, but right now they have 12 draft picks. Okay, you trade away that #2 overall pick to a team like Washington, you're going to get multiple picks and then a possible generational defensive end. That's what I'm saying. That's how I feel. And again, it's not going to happen. This is just a hypothetical video and just a fun topic to talk about. What would you guys do if you wanted to trade back? Again, let's say Sam Howell isn't the guy, or let's just say Sam Howell isn't on this roster and Washington needs to address the quarterback position now, especially it being Ron Rivera's last year. What would you do? Would you trade back trade up to #2 overall pick with Houston, and what would you give up to make sure that Washington can secure that #2 overall pick? I already gave you mine, and I feel like that's pretty reasonable. Okay, you're getting two 1st-round picks. Okay, and you're gonna already have 2 1st-round picks for the next 2 years. All right, so you doing that is going to only make your rebuild faster and better. And then the potential of you still getting the 1st-round quarterback this year is very high, because you still have guys like Anthony Richardson available. You still got Will Levis available. Hendon Hooker is still going to be available. So yeah, you may not get C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young, but the thing is, if you get a guy like Anthony Richardson, he has all of the talent. He's arguably the most talented guy in this draft. It's just going to take time. And right now, you are looking at a roster where you're trying to rebuild.
You're trying to rebuild, but you're trying to look for the fastest way to rebuild. You know, you don't want this thing to take 3 years. You want it 3 to 4 or 5 years, like Ron Rivera says. You want it to take like a Giants turn. You know, the Giants, their rebuild was not even a year. They just finished their first season with Brian Dable, and it was a divisional round berth. And you see they're still making moves to compete the following year. Getting Darren Waller, getting a couple receivers, making moves. And they still have a quality draft pick where they can actually address it and maybe get a corner or another wide receiver. So you want to have a Giants rebuild and not a Washington rebuild if I'm Houston. And you trading away that number 2 overall pick is going to allow you to do that because you still have opportunities to get a quarterback, a franchise guy. So that's my take on it. Again, this is not something that I expect to happen or even will happen because Washington seems to be sold on Sam Howell and seems to be taking a chance on Sam Howell, which I want us to do. But for the simple fact that you could potentially have a guy like C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young on a rookie deal for the next 5 years, is that something that you couldn't pass up? And that's something that I'm willing to do if it takes trading away Chase Young and trading away our next 2 first-round picks. Because, again, we're not a team like Houston that has so many other needs that we just need all these draft picks. We're a team that potentially is a quarterback away. We already got all the offensive talent. Our defense is pretty solid. We need a quarterback. So having a guy like him, C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young on your roster is going to make you a perennial threat in the NFC. And given the fact that there is no really good quarterbacks in the NFC, Jalen Hurts being the best one, that will open up the door for Washington that much more. So to me, it makes sense. But again, I don't see it happening. It's not a realistic option to me. But it's just a fun topic to talk about. So let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section. Tonight I will be going live doing a realistic mock draft with my man Pedro Schmidt, with Jairus, with ProTech, and with Tim. So come through tonight at 7 p.m. As always, me and boy Juangotti. Like, comment, subscribe. Hail to the Washington Commanders. We're on the road to 6,000 subscribers. So please hit that subscribe button again if you haven't already. See you guys later. I'm out. Peace. Cost me one time, that's gonna get you pop, get you poppin', get you driving, slide on the one where that get you locked.